I know, I'm
Go
giving
ahead
you a
and
hard
start.
time,
Go ahead and
sorry.
start.
Sorry, I shouldn't joke.
Are you a group now?
Don't start the time yet. I want to make sure we're all clear on the ground rules. So as a group, you have 10 minutes.
Right.
You have to divvy up however you want amongst yourself. So we're all on the same page.
Thank you. I come to the board tonight to talk about masks and vaccines. With school starting next week, it's going to be an important topic. What we were actually seeing is a systematic implementation of the fall of the Republic and the rise of corporations in the United States. COVID is just another rung in the ladder, which is why there is a deliberate mixing of all the wordplay. We should stop calling it quarantine because that is a term for people who are verifiably sick. This is a house arrest mandate by the state. We should stop calling it social distancing. There is nothing social about forced isolation. We should stop saying safer at home when millions of Americans do not have the basic necessities to meet their needs at home. It assumes everybody at home is equally safe as the people making those statements. We should stop saying this is for the greater good. When you close the economy, killing millions of businesses and jobs that took generations to establish, that is anything but good. We should stop saying this is the new normal. That is just mind-controlled drivel. There is nothing normal about forced isolation, treating your neighbor or your own family like they have the plague, wearing a mask, breathing in your own bodily waste, and living in constant fear of contamination. Is that normal? If the virus is so deadly, why hasn't it wiped out the homeless population? They don't social distance or have the ability to wash themselves normally, let alone have access to a sterile environment. Last year, 1.5 million people died of tuberculosis. Why were you not wearing a mask during the tuberculosis pandemic? You are endangering public health and safety along with billions of other people around the globe. So why weren't you wearing a mask? I'll tell you why, because the mainstream media didn't tell you to wear a mask. 1.5 million people died of tuberculosis, and there was no tuberculosis pandemic any more than there is a COVID pandemic. This is nothing more than a beta test to see who is compliant and who is not. Who does the propaganda work on and who it doesn't? The irony to me is a society that kills millions of babies a year for convenience has shut itself down to keep adults from dying. People who slaughter babies in the womb by the millions are now preaching to the masses about sanctity of life. It is nothing more than doublespeak, double talk, the two-doctrine policy, one for the initiated and one for the uninitiated, one for the inner circle and one for the masses. They say if I violate a mandate or go to church, I can be arrested, but they're letting convicted criminals out of prison so they don't get COVID, as if the masks don't work in jails. If there's a real pandemic, does it require faulty virus models, rigged test results, 81% false positives, inaccurate news reporting, stage hospital overruns, manipulated death certificates? No, it doesn't. When the government shuts down millions of small businesses, but yet doesn't lay off any government employees or shut down Facebook, the stock market, or Amazon, it's not about our health. When the state bans dentists from practicing but deems it necessary to keep abortion clinics open, it's not about our health. When the state keeps you from buying seeds for your garden but allows you to buy lottery tickets, it's not about our health. An institution that has the ability to destroy our whole planet through nuclear war should not regulate self-defense. An institution that's caught over and over trafficking drugs should not have the ability to regulate plants. An institution that has racked up $23 trillion in debt prior to COVID should not be able to manage the retirement fund. An institution that was caught spreading STDs should not run healthcare. An institution that has nearly 1 million unvaccinated immigrants to enter our country in the last 7 months should not be telling me or anybody else to wear a mask or take a vaccine. An institution that paid labs in Wuhan, China to create coronavirus should not be in charge of approving vaccines. If people in general cared about public health and safety, they would not allow people to eat garbage out of dumpsters, drink contaminated water, take prescription drugs, smoke cancer, work with asbestos or plutonium. But they say a mask and hand sanitizer or toilet paper is going to save us from the coronavirus. This is a special kind of stupid I can't even address here tonight. This is absolute lunacy that we are partaking in. Everyone should ask themselves, when did you consent from you creating a government to serve you to you serving that same government and allowing it to rule over you? If you really want to know who's in charge, just think who you can and can't criticize. Our governor, staff, and vaccine makers aren't required to take the vaccine they mandated you and I to take. Ask yourself, why is that? The only ones winning in this made-up pandemic are the corporations and unions and governments we created. Ask yourself, how does a pandemic, if every state and federal agency, including the teachers union, have doubled their income as the average person struggles to fill up their car with a tank of gas or put food on the table? How is it county and city governments all have a surplus, but we have 56% of Grant County at poverty level? Our school district of just over 8,000 students has a $16 million surplus, but you are threatening to take away our sports or the use of facilities that we paid for in the first place if you don't let them take more money from our residents. As most of us struggle to make things work and put our business or lives back together, our school district is hiring new employees. When will government or our board say we will not partake in this anymore, but we will help our community? I'm asking the board to stand on their oath to serve and protect the citizens they have sworn an oath to, and not to serve a tyrant governor. Tyrants rise and fall, but we, your neighbors and community members, the ones you swore to protect from tyranny, will be in this community we love. I'm asking everyone to think for yourself. Don't hate your neighbor or someone that has a different opinion. Try to heal instead of dividing. Help someone instead of hurting someone. Spend every moment possible with your loved ones. Don't treat them as they have the plague. None of these tyrants, be they Republican or Democrat, have adhered to the mandates they put on us, the people they supposedly serve. Don't get caught up in false narratives of the news or social media. Put down your phone and open your Bible. Thank you.